Just 1 minute.
And just if anybody is here to receive a pen or to pick up a pen for a family member or someone you know, make sure we get your name on the sheet of paper up there so we can call you up to receive it. The pens are presented to anybody that served between 1955 and 1975, no matter where you served, no matter where you were. You could have been here, you could have been overseas. It doesn't matter where you served, okay? So if you didn't get your name on the list, see one of our VAR ladies up front, and then I'll have you put your name on her list, and she can bring it up to me when we start calling people. Whew, how about that?
Very good.
That was our greeting. Greetings, welcome.
Welcome to the Vietnam War Day and our 50th anniversary commemoration of the Vietnam War pinning ceremony. We welcome you. My name is Kelly Walters. I'm the Executive Director of 50 Forward, and we are one of the 50th anniversary commemoration partners. We'll introduce some of our other partners that are here. Our Vinny Scalise, the director of the Veterans Outreach Center, was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, he was ill today, so he couldn't come in and greet, but we appreciate their partner and for allowing us to use this wonderful space. So we are going to begin, and I will be calling the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 944 Color Guard. Please stand.
Present. Arm.
Tom Bono, the President of the Vietnam Veterans of America, for our prayer.
So our secretary for the gentleman, most public.
Order arm.
Yeah.
Okay, order arm.
So our secretary, Chet Malcolm, was supposed to be here for the prayer today, but his wife became ill, so he's not able to be with us today. Gracious and Almighty God, every year on the 29th day of March, Vietnam veterans and those who love and care for them come to you asking for healing of memories, forgiveness for misdeeds, and blessings for the freedom we enjoy in America. May our observance be a timely reminder that our freedom is purchased at a high cost and should not be taken for granted. Bless the families and friends of those we honor today, and bless the veterans who share memories, stories, and tears to enrich this day. Finally, dear Lord, grant eternal rest for all those names who are inscribed on the wall, and for those you have called to yourself since the war ended. Let us not forget those who never returned. We pray that a full accounting of them will be attained one day soon. Amen. Amen.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Order
pledge
arm.
allegiance.
Present. Arm.
Carl DeFranco to lead us for the national anthem. Carl DeFranco did our national anthem last year and also our ending song.
And Kelly wasn't here because her family member dog became ill, but Carl was very ill. Like, I don't know how he made it, how he did it, but I'm happy that you're here today representing again. We appreciate you. Thank you, Carl.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner that wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Color guard, right feet. Forward march. Color guard, left feet. Post color. Color guard, right feet. Make noise. Forward march.
Everyone please seated. As I said earlier, my name is Kelly Walters. I'm the director of 50 Forward, and it's my honor to be here with you today. Before I continue our welcome, I just want to give a shout out to some of our donors for this event. One of our large event sponsors is Community Bank, and we thank them for being a partner this year. Thank you. And several other donors include for refreshments after Olive Garden, Tony's Pizza, and Holland Farms. They are wonderful supporters. So today we celebrate National Vietnam War Day, and the last event commemorating the 50th anniversary of the commemoration of the Vietnam War. 50 Forward volunteered to join nearly 9,000 organizations across this country as a commemorative partner to honor our nation's Vietnam veterans through the U.S. Department of Defense's, through the 50th anniversary commemoration. They got a mouthful of these things. We started in August of 2017, and our committee has pinned over 1,200 Vietnam-era veterans and attended over 35 ceremonies. So I think that deserves a round of applause. In the past, in these 35 ceremonies, I have shared why. Why has 50 Forward gotten involved in this? Why is it personal to me? And Candy asked me to share those, and I'm going to introduce our committee people in a little bit, but first of all, 50 Forward provides programs and services to our veterans, as well as works with our veteran partner organizations, such as the Military Order of the Purple Heart, who our Commander Joe Fricola is here, the Vietnam Veterans of America, Color Guard, and their president, Tom Bono, Central New York Veterans Outreach Center, the DAR. We are proud partners with these veterans organizations because of who we serve, who you are, and who they are. So it's been, part of us moving forward, and this commemoration was really important to us because it's personal to me. For those of you who know me or have heard this, my dad is a Vietnam vet, and my uncle was killed in Vietnam. So as a child, the Vietnam War impacted our family, as it did many families. As a child growing up, we went to my grandparents' house. There was a picture on the TV console that was my uncle. As children, we wanted to know more about him, but we weren't allowed to ask questions. We just knew he was our uncle. It was too painful for my family to talk about. Very proud of him, but the pain was still fresh. My uncle was killed in '67. I was born in '69, so it was very fresh. And then, even to this day, my cousins and I have done research and found some things that he actually was killed by friendly fire, but saving his platoon in a helicopter. So it was, he died for a reason. My father, he finished his tour in '68. He came home, married my mother, and had me a year later. I was 11 years old when my parents separated. I had not had any contact with my dad in 35 years. Like many of our Vietnam veterans, he suffered from PTSD and was an alcoholic. Over the years, my husband and I had many friends who were Vietnam vets. And working with our Vietnam partners, my husband often asked me if I wondered what my father was like. Well, I wrote this several years ago. It's over 10 years now. I wondered, something changed in me, and I wanted to know more. I had lost my mother, and here I was, like, somebody had said to me, don't you feel like an orphan? Your father's not in your life, and your mother passed away. So I just did what a lot of us do now, is I use social media, and I found him on Facebook. I saw it and I said, well, let me hit like or friend request, and I did. And it was in a matter of seconds I got a reply. And since then, we have been talking every day, every morning. If I don't call him he has, time. If it's not like by 7:45, he's calling me, you forgot to call me. Or he's in the middle of breakfast because he lives in Georgia. And he is now at the Georgia War Veterans Memorial Hospital. He's had several strokes, but when we first got together, he had come here, I had gone to visit him, and actually I'm very proud that when he was here for a visit, and Candy had found out about the commemoration for the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, and he was the first that we pinned. And we hadn't got our certificate yet, but the DAR, the United County chapter, came and pinned my dad, so he was the first that we did. So I'm very proud of that, and I thank them. So thank you, ladies, for coming to do that for my dad. And so there's lots of people in this room and out there that have similar stories about our Vietnam vets, but I am proud to be a part of this commemoration, and I am very proud to finally be able to welcome you home appropriately, because we know when you came home, it was not appropriate. And we thank you for your service, and thank you for the freedoms that we have today. So, greatly appreciate being here today. point on the agenda is to recognize our elected officials who have been wonderful in supporting us. But before I invite them to come and say a few words, I would like to recognize 54 board members. And we do have one who's here joining us, Ed Jackson, who is also a Vietnam vet. And he's also the past commander of the United Canada American Legion. So thank you for your support, Ed. And he was one in our first paintings way back then too. So, and now it's my pleasure to invite somebody who has been truly supporting our veterans, and that's Assemblywoman Marianne Buckshine. Marianne?
Thank you very much, Kelly. It is an honor to be here today. As I look around the room, I see my friends, veterans that are clearly the heroes of our community. Today, as well as across the state of New York, there are many ceremonies. We had a ceremony in Albany this week. And we look at, as Kelly stated, how it personally touches all of us. The Military Order of the Purple Heart, the Vietnam veterans of America that are here, the Daughters of the American Revolution, our Gold Star families that are here today, and so many more. And I'm sure that Vinny would love to be here if he could, as he opened up space for us today. But we passed a resolution in honor of all of you. And I do have to acknowledge your families and loved ones that are here supporting you and have supported you throughout your service to the country, as well as your service to your community, as all of you do. I can say that about each one of you. You never wear one hat. You are in our community. You support in so many ways. And I thank you for that. So this resolution was passed this week on the floor of the Assembly, and talks about, and I know that Candy's going to go into detail later, so I'm going to let her, but I just have a few points, if you would bear with me. That whereas Chapter 582 of the laws of 2022 created the Vietnam War commemorative medal in 2022 again. The New York State Recognition Award was established to express the support and appreciation from the state legislative body and the people of the state of New York to honor our military heroes for their service and dedication. And whereas the citizens of the great state and nation understand the sacrifices and courageous acts of the men and women who served and continue to serve in the United States Armed Forces, we remain in debt. We are justly proud to all Vietnam veterans today, as well as those that you have guided to serve this great nation. So be resolved that this body again commemorates today as the day that we honor you, as we should. So please accept this as I represent the state of New York today. And again, I thank 50 Forward, as well as all the partners that are here, because this isn't done alone, as well as your sponsors. But to see these medals being displayed today, I would ask that you would accept these resolutions on behalf of the state of New York, as well as any others that you would like to pass out today. God bless you all, and God bless the best nation in the world, the United States of America. Thank you.
And joining us today is Mike Gentile, representing Mayor Galini, who couldn't be with us today, and he's also one of our county legislators. Mike, would you like to say a few words?
On behalf of Mayor Galini, I apologize. He could not be here today. He had a procedure yesterday and is recovering today. But a lot's been said and continues to be said. But on behalf of the mayor's office, just thank you. And not only thank you for your service, as people highlight constantly, but thank you for your continued service as everybody came home and continued to contribute to this community in so many ways. And I know I see a lot of familiar faces and people that have been in schools and been in parks and which have done a lot of things that continues to, make the community better. And, I just thank you again. And I echo Mary Ann, God bless America. And we continue to celebrate your sacrifice to this great nation. Thank you.
So please help me in welcoming our speakers for the day. First, we have Donna Rubin from the Oneida Chapter DAR.
Good morning. I'm Donna Rubin, National Defense Chairman of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Oneida Chapter. It has been a pleasure and an honor for the members of the Oneida Chapter and all the Daughters of the American Revolution to welcome you home during these annual commemorations. U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War spanned a 25-year period from 1950 to 1975. Combat units arrived in the spring of 1965, and on March 19th, that's today, in 1973, the last U.S. combat troops left Vietnam. These Vietnam War commemorations have provided us with the opportunity to celebrate you and your families' service and sacrifice. We honor all who served on active duty and their families between November 1st, 1955 and May 15, 1975, regardless of where you served. You served where you were asked. Thank you for coming to these events so that we may recognize you, learn from your experience, and enjoy your company. This has meant much to us. Each of you will continue to be in our hearts. Welcome home, and thank you for your service.
And Tom Bono, the president of the Vietnam Veterans of America.
Once I get a mic. I just want to explain a little about this 50th commemorative and the specific day of today, being March 29th. So my name is Tom Bono, president of the VEA. I'd also like to welcome and have him stand Joe Capola, the Military Order of the Purple Heart. Andy Curry from 50 forward. And of course, Charlie Walters from 50 forward. I want to thank them personally on behalf of the VVA Chapter 944, Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 490, and all of Vietnam veterans. We thank you for what you got involved with. Over the years, as Kelly had said, we've been numerous Vietnam veterans with the 50 commemorative day. Truly, we are proud partners with the United States of America Vietnam War commemoration. This national commemoration was authorized by Congress, established under the Secretary of Defense, and launched by the President in 2012. Its primary purpose thank and honor Vietnam veterans and their families for their service and sacrifice. Today we join thousands of communities throughout this nation in doing just that. For those who may not be aware, the Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act of 2017 established the 29th day of March in perpetuity as a national day to recognize the previously unsung patriotism of our Vietnam veterans. So National Vietnam War Veterans Day joined the 6 other annual military-centric national observances codified in law, among them Memorial Day, Independence Day, and Veterans Day. Our Commander-in-Chief also issued a presidential proclamation in 2017, which stated, and I quote, "To ensure the sacrifices of the 9 million heroes who served during this difficult chapter of our country's hero history are remembered for generations to come. I signed into law the Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Act of 2017, designating March 29th of each year as National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Throughout this commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War, and every March 29th thereafter, we will honor all those who answered our nation's call to duty. We vow to never again confuse personal disapproval of war with prejudice against those who honorably wear the uniform of our armed forces. With conviction, our nation pledges our enduring respect, our continuing care, and our everlasting commitment to all Vietnam veterans." Unquote. To many people ask, why March 29th? Well, the answer is multifaceted. First, March 29, 1973 was the day U.S. Military Assistance Command Vietnam was disestablished. In addition, March 29, 1973 was the day the last U.S. combat troops departed Vietnam. Finally, March 29, 1973 was the day Hanoi released the last acknowledged prisoners of war. Therefore, March 29th is a fitting choice for our National Vietnam War Veterans Day. In addition, the President's proclamation lists the number of veterans who served during this period as 9 million. This number reflects the fact that our national commemoration honors everyone who served on active duty in the U.S. Armed Forces from November 1st, 1955 to May 15, 1975. No distinction is being made between veterans who served in country, in theater, or who were stationed elsewhere during the Vietnam War period. All were called to serve. Some could self-determine where they were stationed, and all were seen the same way by a country that could not separate the war from the warrior. Each person who served this period deserved our profound thanks. People also ask, how were these bookend dates chosen? Again, the answer is clear. November 1st, 1955 was selected to coincide with the official designation of the Military Assistance Advisory Group, Vietnam, or MAAGV. While May 15, 1975 marks the end of the battle, participated in the seizure of SS Mataguas, and the names of our service members lost in battle are listed on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. So today, we gather here at the Veterans Outreach Center to humbly thank the Vietnam veterans living in our community, and also to honor those who, in President Abraham Lincoln's word, gave their last full measure of devotion. Clearly, there is something about this special place that stirs our soul and helps cleanse those who serve. Perhaps it is the memories that arise when reading the names of the Vietnam veterans as they receive their pin. Or maybe it's the fact that they are counted among the 58,318 men and women, their average age 23 years, whose names are engraved in the polished black granite of the Vietnam Veteran Memorial, also known as the Wall in Washington, D.C. Or is it the memory of their ultimate sacrifice, cutting into our hearts the same way their names are etched into the rock? Perhaps it is a sobering fact that 1,573 are still considered missing in action, and their families await word of their fate as we continue our diligent work to fulfill our promise and bring them home. Or that more than 350,000 American warriors carry both men and unseen scars from this war. And more than likely, some carrying these scars are among us this day. Whatever the reason, it is important that every one of you, Vietnam veterans and your families, understand the prominent place you occupy in the conscience of our nation and the remarkable measure of esteem in which you are held by friends, neighbors, and countrymen. Hopefully the following facts will lend credence to those words for what 50 Forward Mohawk Valley, alongside with their partners, have done to these cities and communities locally. And we individually thank and honor over 2 million of our 6.4 million living American Vietnam veterans and families of 9 million who served during the Vietnam period. With that, thank you.
Next, Joe Fricola, the president of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. Learned a lot about titles and protocol.
First of all, Tom, don't go too far with those glasses on me, either. Before I say my remarks, I just want to congratulate Kelly Walters. She was just awarded Woman of Distinction from the YWCA president. Okay, first I want to thank the Parkway Center for all they and the committee members have done to partner and support the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War. Just to add to that, Tom and I, along with a couple other EVA members, attended the 25th anniversary of the wall. That was quite a drive down to Washington, but it was very well worth it, and a couple of those veterans are no longer with us. On behalf of the members of the Central Yard Chapter 490, Military Order of the Purple Heart, and the members of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Utica Chapter 944, I want to thank Candy, Kelly, and the committee members for all the special work you have done to make these events the most successful and significant for our Vietnam War veterans, Vietnam era veterans, and their families. I was one of over 3 million service men and women who left their families and served their country honorably during the Vietnam War and era. As you know, during this period, the country was at odds against the war, and many citizens, students, and politicians were protesting the war. However, our families were there for us. The commemorative event is as much about our families as it is about our veterans. Many of our family members have passed away without ever being given a thank you to them for sending their sons, daughters, fathers, mothers, sisters, and brothers to military service to protect the freedoms that we all have today. You as a Vietnam veterans answered the call of duty while your families awaited your safe return. Looking back as a Vietnam War veteran, there are 4 dates that are incredibly significant to me. On 22 February 1969, I boarded a Continental airliner at McGuire Air Force Base, New Jersey, destined for the RVN Republic of Vietnam. On 7 June 1969, I was wounded during a VC rocket attack at my company compound. 19 February 1970 was my Deros, and its date estimated return overseas. How many of you remember that acronym? And on 22 February 1970, I arrived home at Oneida County Airport on a Mohawk Airlines flight from New York. When I arrived home from Vietnam, there were 8 people my 3 sisters, and 4 family members of Ernie Durst, a high school friend who was also returning home from the Vietnam War. The following quote is taken from the History Channel. No more Vietnams. No event in American history is more misunderstood than the Vietnam War. It was misreported then, and it's misrepresented now. Rarely have so many people been so wrong about so much. Never have the consequences of their misunderstanding being so tragic. From Richard Nixon, then the President of the United States of America. Rather than giving veterans of the Vietnam War and era welcome home parades, Americans seem to shun, if not denegate, the over 2 million plus Americans who went to Vietnam, the 1.65 million who served in combat, the 300,000 physically wounded, the many more that bore psychological scars, and the 2,387 listed as missing in action, and the more than 58,000 who died. Nothing was done to aid Vietnam veterans and their loved ones who needed assistance in adjusting after their return from our war. Therefore, the Vietnam Veterans of America has the motto, never again will one generation of veterans abandon another. During our recent wars of Iraq and Afghanistan, you will always see Vietnams, or you have always seen Vietnam veterans at the deployment ceremonies, wishing our men and women a safe return home. You will always see Vietnam veterans meeting military units that return home at their welcome home ceremonies. And you will always see Vietnam veterans manning the flag lines when a service member or women's flag draped casket is returned home to their families. You should always know that Vietnam veterans are always advocating for our modern-day military men and women. In Washington, D.C., the Wall, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, is a somber reminder of the loss of too many young Americans. The following quote is from former Defense Secretary and Vietnam War veteran Chuck Hagel. We are a better nation today because of the tremendous sacrifices that our Vietnam veterans and their families made for our country. I, along with the Vietnam veterans here today, are proud to be part of that generation. I am proud and happy to be a member of the Parkway Center Commemoration Committee of the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War. At this ceremony today, and hopefully another one will be held on Veterans Day, the Commemorations Committee's commitment is an opportunity to recognize and thank you for your service to our country once again. Please make sure that you share this with your family, as they are proud of you, and you should be proud of them for all their support. I close by saying this: never apologize for your patriotism. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. At this time, we'd ask everybody silent their cell phones and please stand for the POW MIA Remembrance Ceremony that will be conducted by Tom and Stanley from the Vietnam Veterans of America.
As you went to the banquet hall this afternoon, you may have noticed a small table in a place of honor. It is set for one. The table is our way of symbolizing the fact that members of our profession of arms are missing from our midst. They are commonly called POWs or MIAs. We call them brothers. They are unable to be with us this afternoon, and so we remember them. The table is set for one is small, symbolizing the frailty of one prisoner alone against his oppressors. Remember, the tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their intentions to respond to their country's call to arms. Remember, the single red rose displayed in a vase reminds us of the families and loved ones of our comrades in arms who keep the faith awaiting their return. Remember, the yellow ribbon tied so prominently on the vase is reminiscent of the yellow ribbon worn upon the lapel and breasts of thousands who bear the witness for their unyielding determination to demand a proper accounting of our missing. Remember, the candle is lit, symbolizing the upward reach of their unquestionable spirit. Remember, a slice of lemon is on the bread plate to remind us of their bitter faith. Remember, there is salt upon the bread plate, symbolic of the family's tears as they wait. Remember, the glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us this night. Remember, the chair is inverted. They cannot toast with us this night. Remember, the chair is empty. They are not here. Remember, all of you who served with them and called them comrades, who depended upon their might and aid, and relied upon them, for surely they have not forsaken you. Remember. Until that day they come home. Remember.
Thank you. You may all be seated. Next, I'd like to introduce Candy Curry, who has been the chair of our 50th Commemoration Committee and has, well, I'll tell you more about all that she's done in a little bit, but please welcome Candy Curry.
Welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. If you could just give me a moment. We've been doing this for 9 years, and I just want to stand back and just take it all in. Because all these years I've been doing it, I'm here, I'm present, but I've never just been able to just take it all in. A lot of beautiful faces. First, let me start by saying, I'm Candy Curry. I work for 50 Forward Mohawk Valley. And I'm the site coordinator there, and I'm the front desk receptionist, which is really my most favorite and cherished part of being at 50 Forward, because I love people, and I love interacting with people. I love it when people come in. And I just love everything about 50 Forward and what they allow me to do, which includes this program, the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War Commemoration Program. The Veterans Outreach Center is where we held our very first Vietnam Veterans Day back in 2017. Over there on the table, I had like collage pictures of every event we've done from 2000, actually we started in 2016. So from 2016 to a couple of years ago, if you've ever been to any of those events, you may not even know you've been to one of those events, you're going to see yourself in those pictures. A lot of people that I see in here right now are in those pictures that are sitting on that table, and I look at them all the time. I cherish and value those photos. Those are my forever, lifetime memories. I want to thank the Veterans Center for allowing us to utilize this room again. You know, we hit our first one there. this is not our last Vietnam Veterans Day. It'll always be Vietnam Veterans Day because it's a holiday. But this is the last time through the commemoration program, Vietnam Veterans Day, that we will be presenting pins because the commemoration program comes to an end, actually Veterans Day 2025. We are committed to do one more ceremony. We want to do it on Veterans Day. I ordered the pins, and we are actually going to looking to see a veterans organization. We want to do rural out in the country that's willing to have us there and present pins on Veterans Day. I was going to thank Vincent Scalise for being here. I'm sorry that he's ill. He was here last year. I hope he gets better. He's been a part of the organization, the commemoration program since the very beginning. Jennifer Scalise, his wife, has always been very supportive of everything we do. I just love her. I'd like to thank the Veterans Outreach Center staff for everything they do. Rayanne over there worked me like a dog yesterday. I was supposed to just drop off the cake, and she had me move the tables and chairs and everything. So thank you, Rayanne. My back is killing me today. I appreciate it. When we're finished with the ceremony, I'd like you to stay for cake donated by Holland Farms. We have pizza donated from Tony's of Washington Mills. We have breadsticks and salad donated from the Olive Garden. Thank you, David, for picking up all our food. David McGoller, our outreach coordinator over there in the corner. Thank you, David. Holland Farms has supported this program ever since we started doing it every year. So, you know, I encourage you to go over there, get something to eat, a cup of coffee, a donut. They have the best food, the best deli food I've ever had. Today, the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War commemoration program ends, although every March 29th will be Vietnam War Day. It was an honor to serve with our VBA color guard. I've never missed an event, always presented colors. Our committee, very dedicated, the Daughters of the American Revolution. You, our community, thank you for always supporting our goal to thank and honor our Vietnam era veterans. I can't believe it's been 9 years. I thank Susan Bowling from the Daughters of the American Revolution for getting us started in this program, because if it wasn't for her and the Daughters of the American Revolution, I would have never known about it. And if you have a chance, please visit our information tables. Community Gang is here. We love the Community Gang. They sponsored this event. Thank you very much. They're great. I got a car home with them. They gave me a loan. Thank you, Community Gang. I appreciate you. If you're looking for one, come see my lady over here. We have our 50 Forward information table. There's flyers on there for a veterans breakfast at the Sergeant Fox program through the Central New York Veterans Outreach Center. They sponsor our veterans breakfast once a month. There's a flyer in there. We'd love to have you attend. The breakfast, we hold the breakfast the second Tuesday of every month at 50 Forward Parkway. And I have a table there too of the pictures, the collages. Please look at them. I really hope that you do. But I also have swag from the commemoration program, tin pins, magnets, brochures. Those are free. Please take them. I want to thank Brian Mazur for being here, taking photographs, veteran photographer. I met him last year. He's amazing. Brian Mazur Photography. We will have our pictures up as well as Brian's on our Facebook page, so like 50 Forward Mohawk Valley Facebook. We actually have 3 of them. I think Verona Beach, West Side where I work, please come visit me, 717 4th Street, and the Parkway Rec Center. As I look out to the crowd, besides the Vietnam era veterans that we've already honored, we've also honored Gold Star families, and one of them being Susan Rohrbeck Keaton. If you can stand up, please. Her father, Major Sergeant Kenneth Rohrbeck. Her father was a prisoner of war, held in captivity. His return his remains have yet to return. We wear bracelets in his honor that will never come off until the day his remains, it's my bracelet sister, his remains return. Thank you, Susan, for being here. You can have a seat. Thank you. We also honor the Wheeler family. Joseph Wheeler was killed in action in Vietnam. His mother, Mary Wheeler, was the president of the Gold Star families for quite some time, attended Vietnam. She passed away in 2022. That was a sad, sad day for our community. Truly a sad, sad day. And we loved her very much, and her daughter Karen as well. And we honored their family at one of our ceremonies. Just so many memories, so many memories. And I can go on and on about that. I know this looks like a book. It's written in big print because I can't see, so don't get scared. And I'm going to repeat a lot of the things that Tom had stated, Mary Ann and others that came up here, Donna. So if you hear repetition, I apologize for that. So, on behalf of our nation, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today to share what we and more than 11,000 organizations across the country are doing to help our communities. Thank and honor our Vietnam veterans and their families. Excuse me. While this commemoration is specifically focused on thanking and honoring Vietnam veterans and their families, I'd like to take a moment to address all of our veterans and their families in attendance today. Since the birth of the United States, each generation of Americans have been called to defend freedom by force of arms. 42 million American men and women have sacrificed and served at the time of war, many here among them. Your collective service and individual sacrifices have safeguarded the cherished concepts embodied in our Constitution, whether deployed in harm's way, all the while watching over your buddies as they watched over you. As they watched over you or training and serving at our home station, you sacrificed. Our country, our families, and our children owe you a debt of gratitude. Unfortunately, there's a specific generation of these patriots that was not treated with respect or shown gratitude during their service by our citizenry. Today, we commit to every effort to right the wrong for the Vietnam veterans among us, whom everyone gathered here expressly came to thank and honor, and about whom I will focus the remainder of my remarks. I apologize. I just seen Jack Rising's wife, and I just want to give him a shout out too. Jack Rising did our prayers for a lot of our ceremonies, and he was a part of the Vietnam Veterans of America. And his wife, Mrs. Rising, is right here. Could you please read her? They attended every ceremony. She was our photographer and attended every ceremony and still does, and I thank you, and we miss your husband, Jack. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'm sorry. The inaugural event occurred. Okay, here was I. As I mentioned earlier, we are proud partners of the United States of America Vietnam War Commemoration. This national commemoration was authorized by Congress, established under the Secretary of Defense, and launched by the President. The inaugural event occurred at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, commonly known as the Wall, in Washington, D.C., on Memorial Day 2012. The 44th President of the United States, Barack Obama, was the keynote speaker, and this groundbreaking event was attended by senior military and civilian leaders, but most importantly, thousands of Vietnam veterans and their families, the true VIPs. The President's words were powerful. He stated, and I quote, "And one of the most painful chapters in our history was Vietnam, most particularly how we treated our troops who served there. You were often blamed for a war you didn't start when you should have been commended for serving our country with valor. You were sometimes blamed for misdeeds of a few when the honorable service of the many should have been praised. You came home and sometimes were denigrated when you should have been celebrated. It was a national shame, a disgrace that should have never happened. And that's why here today, we resolve that it will never happen again, unquote. Now, all the military families endure the hardship of separation and uncertainty. But unlike our veterans of today, who are welcomed home with waving flags and cheers, the families of our Vietnam veterans witnessed husbands and wives, sons and daughters, and fathers and mothers returning home to a nation in turmoil. They watched as the vast majority received no recognition for their service or welcome home ceremonies hosted by their communities. These service members who had chosen to honor our nation's call were encouraged to travel home, not in uniform, but in civilian clothes due to the unrest in our country, and in many cases, sheer disdain for those who wore one of the uniforms of our military. Although profoundly impacted by their experiences, those who were able quietly slipped back into the lives they had left. But there were many who came home with physical or unseen injuries that did not allow them to return to their communities as they had left them. Sadly, many of these unseen injuries went undiagnosed. They simply weren't understood by our medical community or citizenry as they are now. Veterans were left to meet these challenges without the outpouring and assistance available to servicemen and women today. Tragically, too many who fought in Vietnam never experienced a return home. Their future was cut short, their hopes and dreams along with it. And the families of those who didn't return, whose names are etched on the wall in Washington, D.C., experienced painful loss without the collective support of their nation. Yes, history makes crystal clear the importance of this commemoration. And as Vietnam was a long war, a long commemoration period was taken underway, confirmed by two separate presidential proclamations, the first in 2012 and the second by President Donald Trump in 2017. This commemoration continued through Veterans Day 2025. Further, President Trump proclaimed, and I quote, "To ensure the sacrifice of the 9 million heroes who served during this difficult chapter of our country's history are remembered for generations to come," he signed into law the Vietnam Veterans Recognition Act of 2017, designating March 29th of each year as National Vietnam War Veterans Day. Throughout this commemoration and anniversary of the war, and every March 29th thereafter, we will honor all those who served our nation's call to duty. We vow to never again confuse personal disapproval of war with prejudice against those who honorably wear the uniform of our armed forces. With conviction, our nation pledges our enduring respect, our continuing care, and our everlasting commitment to all Vietnam veterans. Unquote. So throughout this period, and especially on and around March 29th of every year, of the 6.4 million living Vietnam veterans and the 9 million families of those who served from November 1st, 1955 to May 15th, 1975, regardless of location. It is important to remember that our military served in Vietnam under 6 different presidents. President Truman authorized the first U.S. advisors to serve with the French, and President Ford was in office at the conclusion. 58,276 names are permanently cut to the black granite of the wall. They're average 23 years old. More than 350,000 Americans were wounded in the war. Many tens of thousands were disabled from those wounds. 7,500 women served in Vietnam, the majority nurses. 8 of them whom were killed in theater, their names are on the wall. And 1,587 are still considered missing in action, their families diligently awaiting word of their fate. These facts provide us some context and understanding of the true cost of the war. It is not measured in dollars and cents, but in lives of neighbors, friends, and family who come home seeing and unseen scars that need mending and extensive care or do not come home at all. These facts are also best understood by those who served and their families. Some continued in uniform, while many returned to civilian life, started families, and immediately began contributing to their communities. Some took up service as police officers, teachers, doctors, and nurses, and mailmen and U.S. postal workers. I met a lot of them, and that's wonderful. I love my mail, thank you. From town halls and boardrooms to the nation's capital, others became leaders and elected public servants. Vietnam veterans also mentored those that followed them in uniform. They built the foundation of today's military. Their leadership led to success in Panama, Desert Storm, Bosnia, Iraqi freedom, and enduring freedom. In fact, 11 of the last 13 chairmen of the Joint Chiefs of Staff were Vietnam veterans. These leaders established strategies, tactics, and standards that ensured success. The impact they had and other Vietnam veterans from every service had on our current military and its leaders were significant. Today, we have the opportunity to do what we should have done 50 years ago. Welcome our Vietnam veterans home with honor and thank them and their families for their service and sacrifice. Across the country, thousands of local, state, and federal organizations, just like ours, have become commemorative partners, each committed to hosting at least 2 events annually and to thank and honor our Vietnam veterans and their families. Now, I said we were only obligated to hold 2 events annually. Over the 8 years that we've done over 35 events all over Oneida County. We went to the Veterans Home, and what town was that? In Oxford, New York. We've done tons of legions and veteran organizations, and I have personally gone to people's homes to present them the pin because they could not get out of their home to come receive it, or they don't feel comfortable to be in a group setting such as this. So I feel, and I am so honored, that we made a great impact with this commemoration program in our community and other communities. Since this commemoration began, 2.5 million have been welcomed home during 17,000 hometown-centric public ceremonies like this one, and today we have the distinct privilege to add to those numbers. By the way, the Department of Veterans Affairs and the U.S. Census Bureau numbers indicate that those 6.4 million living Vietnam veterans equal 1 in every 8 Americans 65 years and older. And when you consider just men that age, it's 1 in every 3. And I want to show the pin. I'm a little bit mixed up here. I apologize, I gotta keep myself on track too. So we are here today to present the lapel pin to our Vietnam era veterans. And this pin is very special, and I will tell you about it. It's beautiful. This lapel pin is beautifully struck and features an eagle's head representing courage, honor, and dedicated service. The stripes representing our nation's flag, and 6 stars representing the allies who served, sacrificed, and fought alongside one another. All encircled by a ring of blue matching the canton of our national flag, and signifying vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The phrase, "A grateful nation thanks and honors you," is embossed on the reverse side along with the commemoration's name, and it's worn close to the heart. A lot of my guys, I love it. I see the hats. I see it on the hands, and I love it. But before this lapel pin is presented, I ask that every Vietnam veteran among us please stand if you are able, or raise your hand if you are not, so we might recognize your service and sacrifice, and finally acknowledge you in a way that you so richly deserve. Please stand. Thank you for your service. Thank you. Okay, now it is Kelly and our highest privilege to introduce to you our committee members of the Vietnam Veterans Commemoration Program. I'll get there.
Change course in the middle.
Change course. That's okay. I'm good. That's what these guys taught me. Change course right in the middle.
So, on behalf of our committee at 50 Forward, we could not have done all that we have done with the over 35 pinnings and reaching out to over 1,200 Vietnam veterans without our dedication of our committee people. I'd like to, just one of our committee people had passed away who was in it from the very beginning, and that was Aaron McLeod, and he's always in our hearts because he went all over with us, and he is surely missed. And there are several that I will read their names, and but we have a certificate of appreciation for their service with us, and we will save theirs. But first is Larry Badger.
Yep, he could be with us today.
Don't feel bad, he's been in Florida. Or Carolina is okay. We'll feel bad for Vincent Scalise because he's not feeling well. Tom Bono. Mr. Joseph Percola.
Oh, thank you. We can't do it without you.
Come on, Howard.
Mr. Arnold Fernie.
Arnie.
As Arnie's coming up, I just want to say this about Arnie Fernie. When we first started this program, I wasn't driving. It's a long story. But Arnie Fernie made sure that he picked me up at my house for each and every ceremony. Made sure that I got there safe and got back home safe, and also to work a lot too. And I love you, Arnie. Thank you for everything you've done.
Ted Zanuski, who's been our photographer, who isn't able to be with us, but Candy mentioned him earlier. He was a great part, took lots and lots of pictures, as you can see, and that helps us memorialize everything that we've done. And I have one last award that I would like to present. The person that's kept this program on track for us all. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that take coordination. You have to, you go on the Department of Defense and you have to report the number of pins. when they come out with special pins for the Gold Star families, you have to go on and ask for them, or families of survivors, you have to go on and you have to report, because government likes reports and everything. You keep track of things. To set up ceremonies, to coordinate, do we have food, do we have refreshments, to reach out to people to come and let them know that we are trying to honor our Vietnam veterans. And that's been Candy Curry, who's been our chairman, and I'd like to present this award of excellence to Candace Curry.
It's been worth every moment of my life. I live for this. It's changed. Honestly, this program has changed my life. Okay, so I love everything about it. I got my name, Candace Candy Curry. That's my name. Next is we're going to have our committee members, the Daughters of the American Revolution. We're going to have a line set up right over here of all of us, because we're going to start to present the pins. And when we call your name from the list that we have, we want to shake your hand and welcome you home. We want to thank you for your service. So when we call your name, please come up. I got it, I'm giving them directions, let me know.
Okay.
Just come up, start here, work your way down to me on the last one. I'm going to present the pin and the proclamation to you, okay? So we can have the DAR come up, our committee members.
Come on up.
We have the list.
Have the list.
Yep, we'll start here.
Weren't you listening to our direction?
I know.
Come on, Tom. DAR members, come on up.
Okay, well,
On that side.
what was her name again?
Helen.
Helen? Wait,
Okay. Yes.
we have everybody. Arnie Fernie, come on up.
She's on the calendar. Don't worry about it. I got it. So, as I call your name, please come forward, and you're going to start at this end where I'm pointing, and left and right when I'm talking this way. Start with Tom, and we are going to welcome you home, and if everybody else would join. And I hope I don't butcher people's names too bad. So, please help us welcome home Joseph Madeira. Joseph. He served in the Air Force.
Thank you.
Welcome home, Joseph. I'm going to have you stand right here on that side of me.
Next, please welcome Richard Martel Navy, who is, Joe Alberico is going to pick it up for him.
You can have a seat for now. We're going to get you back up here for a picture. Buddy Joe, you get hugs.
Please welcome home James Green, U.S. Navy.
He says he remembers you. Thank you for your service and welcome home.
Next, welcome home, John Lafayette, Army.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. Welcome home and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Next, welcome home, James Harrier, Army.
Thank you for your service and welcome home.
Welcome home, Willie Wilson, Marines.
Picture. Thank you for your service. Willie Wilson.
Welcome home.
I'm not to be credited.
Willie Wilson. I love this guy. Involved in everything in our community. Hey, thank you for your service. Welcome home and thank you for everything that you do for our youth. Better get us our picture here, please.
Next, welcome home, Nick Labella.
Be careful.
It's okay.
Nick, my man Nick, how you doing? You'll see him walking up and down the parkway every day. You see him? Just make sure you honk the horn and swear at him real loud like I do.
Welcome home, James Danico, Navy. Dingo, I'm sorry. I told you I was going to butcher somebody's name. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Hey, thank you for your service and welcome home.
Welcome home, Gordon Holzer, Air Force.
Okay.
Welcome home.
Thank you for your service and welcome home.
Welcome home, David
We want your
Askew.
daughter to be able to get pictures. No, you're okay. Take your time. We got nothing but time.
Look at our camera. A little. Move it in. Now look at mine.
Thank you for your service. Oh. I know, it's great to see you again. Thank you for your service and welcome home.
And welcome home, Helen Dukar, Marines. Welcome home.
My bad.
Welcome home. We're proud of you.
Thank you for your service and welcome home. Thank you.
And I
We
just-
can't do it without you.
Is there anybody else here that didn't get on the list that did not get your pin? Please come. Have you never gotten your pin?
It's not for me, it was my husband.
It's your husband? Would you like to accept it on his behalf?
He's deceased, it's a link.
Joan Cross. Hey, Joan Cross, come on up.
Isn't there a special one if there's?
I have, these pins are gonna go for everyone.
Okay, come on. What's the name?
L-Y-N-N, Cross.
Great cross.
Welcome home. Anybody else? One of the things that I always like to close after we give the pins for those that are here, if you know a Vietnam veteran that did not come to a public ceremony or didn't know about us, call us. Because our committee members have, and including myself, have gone to our Vietnam veterans' homes and or where they are and presented their pins. Our job, our commitment has been to get the pins into the hands of our veterans to thank them. So please, please reach out to any one of our committee people, the DAR 50 board, and we will, while we still have pins left, we will make sure we get them in the hands of our veterans. And I am going to, you got more? You want to? You talk too long.
We're gonna have Tom and then me, and then Carl. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back up here this second in our speech.
Oh, thank
Let's give a round of applause to Tom Pellerino from KTV.
Yeah.
Also, if everyone would stand. Today is March 29th. Monday is March 31st. And as Candy had mentioned earlier, this is the date that Joseph Keith Wheeler was killed in action in Vietnam. And like Candy had said, Keith's mom, Mary Wheeler, we all know her well. She was the president of the National Gold Star Mothers of America. We always honor Joseph on this date of March 31st. So we'd all say a prayer to ourselves to remember Joseph Keith Wheeler, March 31st, 1968. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you may have a seat. Yep, you're set. Thank you, everybody. All right, we have you standing up there for the rest of the afternoon. So once again, I am privileged to be with you all today. The commemoration's cause is indeed noble, and thanking and honoring these veterans' families, Gold Star families, is the right thing to do. I encourage everyone here to please take a moment before you depart to reach out and shake the hand of one of those who just stood. They all deserve our thanks and admiration. Join the nation, thank a veteran. Thank you and and God bless, and please stay for cake, the pizza, the salad, socialization, talking. I don't want this day to end, even though they do want us out by a certain time, but that's okay. All right, thank you very much. I'd like to call Carl up to sing Blades of Grass. We appreciate you, Carl. Carl is Trina DeFranco's husband, who is the United Chapter Daughters of the American Revolution. So thank you, Carl, for supporting us.
There's a little bit of history behind this song. For those of us that have had the opportunity to be in Washington and to see the wall and then to visit Arlington, are two sites you will never, ever forget. And a couple of congressmen a few years ago had the same experience. And when they were done, they composed a poem and it has been set to music. And I discovered this song probably about 8 or 9 years ago. I first performed it at the Wreaths Across America ceremony up in Forest Hills. And for those of you who don't know about that, Wreaths Across America is an organization that provides a wreath for every veteran's grave. It has expanded to over 4,000 cemeteries across the United States and an uncountable number of wreaths. And it's done in I believe the second or third weekend of December every year. If you would like to have a wreath donated, you can contact the DAR, or you can contact Tom. There are a number of organizations that support this, and it's very, very important. So this song is dedicated, let me get the words so I don't forget them. This is dedicated to all of the people who did not come home.
Blades of grass and pure white stones cover those who've come and gone. Just beneath the emerald sod are those who've reached the arms of God. Buried here with dignity, endless rows for all to see. Freedom seeds in sorrow sown, beneath blades of grass and pure white stone. Blades of grass and pure white stone cover those who've left their homes for to lie in field by side, lest we forget their sacrifice. Buried here with dignity, endless rows for all to see. Freedom seeds in sorrow sown, need blades of grass and pure white stones. Need blades of grass and pure white stones.
I don't know where my sidekick went, but thank you for attending. This ends our March 29th Vietnam War Veterans Day. We appreciate you being here. Please stay, have coffee, snacks, and enjoy conversation. If we can, if